Hey sisters, do you know what your PCOS type is? Today I'm going to talk to you about the different types of PCOS and help you discover what your type might be, so as to take the next step in your PCOS journey. There are different types of PCOS, and so many of the women present different symptoms, and if you are having PCOS, you can present with one or more symptoms of the various types. So having PCOS can be so overwhelming because you might have type A, type B, and type C, and you find it so hard to manage your symptoms because you might be having symptoms of most of the various PCOS types. So what you are going to do is first know what your type is, then you know how to tackle the issue. When you know the type of your PCOS, it will help you greatly in managing your PCOS symptoms. If you have maybe type 1, type 2, or combination of 3 or 2, you might be able to get it very clearly in managing the symptoms. In the other side, I think I have 2 to 3 of the types of PCOS. I think I have the inflammatory, and I have the adrenal fatigue, and others. So that's the one I have. So today, like I said earlier, I'm going to help you discover your own type of PCOS so as to know what you need to do in your PCOS journey. The first major type of PCOS is the inflammatory PCOS, and all women with PCOS will struggle with inflammation. It is a central factor of PCOS and not just a side effect. I actually know I have inflammatory PCOS because of my cystic acne, the weight gain, the excessive craving, and stuffs. So inflammatory PCOS occurs when your body immune system is chronically activated, resulting to symptoms like cystic acne, weight gain, fatigue, irritability, irritable bowel movements, anxiety, joint pain, and fatigue. All these symptoms are part of the symptoms of inflammatory PCOS, which you might be having right now, and you don't really know this is the type of the PCOS you are having. Inflammatory PCOS can also result to insulin resistance, which is the second type of PCOS that we are going to talk about. So there are inflammatory cytokines. Inflammatory cytokines are signals that are secreted constantly at a lower level in women with polycystic ovarian syndrome, and these inflammatory cytokines will act on the ovary and result to increased secretion of testosterone. And you know what testosterone do to your body if you watch my previous video. And after it works on the ovary, it can also work on fat cells, and it triggers insulin resistance. That is how inflammatory PCOS can result to insulin resistance. So when you have inflammatory PCOS, it is a must that you must treat it, because if you don't treat the inflammatory PCOS, it can result to chronic inflammation, and this chronic inflammation can result to the other symptoms like I mentioned earlier: the facial hair, the acne, the anxiety, and also leads to insulin resistance. And this takes us to our next type of PCOS, that is the insulin resistance PCOS. For insulin resistance PCOS, about 80% of women suffering from polycystic ovarian syndrome have insulin resistance PCOS, and this insulin resistance PCOS can lead to uncontrollable cravings. You crave a lot, that you eat excessively, and people will be like, she eats excessively, she craves a lot, but you don't have a choice. You don't know how to deal with it because it is part of your insulin resistance PCOS. It can also lead to poor blood sugar control, and this poor blood sugar control, it normally spikes up immediately after you eat. When it spikes up, it goes down, and it makes you feel like you have to snack all the time, and this is also one of the side effects of insulin resistance PCOS. To know more about insulin resistance, watch this video that I did earlier, and you have more information about insulin resistance PCOS. The next type of PCOS that we are going to talk about is adrenal fatigue PCOS. This type of PCOS symptoms can go unnoticed and untreated. It can make you feel super exhausted and stressed out even after getting an 8 hours of sleep. So what is stress in medical term? Stress is anything that exceeds the adaptive capability of your body and raises your level of cortisol. The combination of chronic high cortisol and high insulin is a recipe for weight gain, especially at the midsection. Adds to that, when our body overproduces cortisol, we are prioritizing other hormones necessary for ovulation and menstruation. Total stress can trigger many of our PCOS symptoms like weight gain, anxiety, and period irregularity. So when you have adrenal fatigue PCOS, you feel so exhausted, and even after exercising for the whole day or exercising for the whole week, you still feel so weak. And when you do exercise, you don't even feel good about the exercise. So you end up feeling stressed out and you don't feel good about it. With PCOS, with adrenal fatigue PCOS, you don't exercise. You only go into slow-weighted exercise and other things that will bring your sugar level down. When you are stressed out, your PCOS will only deteriorate. It won't help you with your PCOS. It can only deteriorate your symptoms of PCOS. So the best thing for you is stop exercising too hard with PCOS. Try to get a slow-weighted exercise to do and try to manage your symptoms. That's the main thing you are going to do that will help your adrenal fatigue PCOS. Next type of PCOS that we are going to talk about is hypothyroidism PCOS. In hypothyroidism PCOS, your thyroid glands produces too little of thyroid hormone, and this is responsible for metabolism. That is, it will lead to slow metabolism, and this slow metabolism can influence your sex hormone, leading to symptoms like irregular ovulation, resistance, hair loss, slow metabolism, and weight gain. And these conditions are magnified by hypothyroidism. One of the factors that leads to a weakened thyroid is uncontrollable blood sugar level. That is why it is important to treat your PCOS. If you have insulin resistance PCOS and don't manage it, this type of PCOS can lead to other type of PCOS, especially hypothyroidism PCOS. So these are the 4 major types of PCOS that we have, and this leads us to how we can treat these types of PCOS. Treatment of PCOS is most at times done based on the types of PCOS you have. You might have, as I said earlier, you might have 1, 2, or 3 of the types of PCOS. And any of the PCOS symptoms that you have, the one that is waving a red flag, that is the ones that have more symptoms, is the one that you are going to prioritize at that time and manage it. So now we are going to start. I'm going to tell you how to treat your PCOS symptoms naturally. So for you to be able to manage your inflammatory PCOS, you have to cut out your gluten and dietary intake completely for 30 days. You have to try and cut out your gluten and dietary intake for 30 days. This is what will help you in managing your inflammatory PCOS. Gluten and dietary intakes act as simple or act as a recipe for bringing out the symptoms of inflammatory PCOS. So try going gluten and dietary free for 30 days and see how it works for you. I'm going to put out the list of gluten and dietary intake that you are supposed to stay away from so as to take care of your PCOS symptoms. Treatment for insulin resistance PCOS is, you may have been given metformin to treat your insulin resistance PCOS, but most at times it's not really necessary. All you need to do is to cut out the level of your sugar level to a lower level. If you are taking like 3 to 4 cubes per day, take 1 cube per day, or you can just go away with taking sugar for the whole day. It can help you a lot of things and your symptoms will go down. So all you need to do is to cut out your sugar level intake to a minimum level. Go gluten and dietary free. You try slow weighted exercise, and also you go for dairy free. So this is how you are going to manage your insulin resistance PCOS without much medications. In PCOS, I have said it earlier in my previous videos, all you need is lifestyle modification and dietary modifications. Your PCOS symptoms will make a turn that you think this is just magic. It's not magical, because you are what you eat. If you eat healthy, your symptoms will significantly improve. So all you need to do is to cut out your gluten and dietary free, do a slow weighted exercise, and you will tell me the rest. Oh, for adrenal fatigue PCOS, it makes losing weight so hard for you. So when they tell you lose weight, please stop trying to lose weight. Stop trying to cut out your calories intake. Stop trying to do things that stress you out. Just try to calm down. You cut out your calories intake to a very low carbs diet, it can increase your cortisol level. And I said that, like I said earlier, when your cortisol level is high, it's a recipe for weight gain. That's why you are not losing weight. When you go for strenuous exercise, your cortisol level will go up and your stress level will go up, and that is why you are not losing weight. Try going gluten and dietary free. Eat healthy and it will help you. The same goes for hypothyroidism PCOS. I have a community that I have women manage their PCOS symptoms naturally, and it's a 4-week challenge which is going on currently. If you want to join, you can click the link below, or you can DM me. I will put on the link of everything you need to do. You can DM me and we will go for that challenge together. It's very simple, and it will feel like magic to you. It's not something that you need to spend things excessively or expensively. It's something that you can manage at your own comfort at home without feeling exhausted, without having to spend much. So if you want to join our community, all you need to do is to DM me and I will help you and join other women in managing our PCOS symptoms naturally. Bye bye.